I am, but I'm not. I'm not the one who does it.
Okay, I get it. Let me send you my Twitter handle.
We're live now.
Okay. Go on. Okay, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Octopus series. It's another Tuesday, and we're here to learn more about reinventing the event professional. Today, our special guest is Uka Mobi, Dr. Uka Mobi. Hi,
Hi,
Uka.
everyone. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today on this Octopus series.
Yes. Okay, so I'll just tell you guys a little bit about Uka. Dr. Uka Mobi is a banker, banking and academia, focusing on decision-making, commercial and economic appraisals on projects for less and products in a trade and SME-focused UK bank. Previously, he was Vice President Commercial in a trading company and part of the energy, infrastructure, and power finance teams at various Nigerian banks. Uka holds a PhD from University College London, a master's from Cranfield University, and an MBA from Auckland University. He also graduated from the University of Benin.
The prestigious University of Benin.
Welcome, Uka. So Uka will be talking about yes, event. So Uka will be talking about SMEs yesterday and today in Nigeria. So over to you, Uka. We'll just dive straight into it.
Okay, thanks everyone. I'll make this as simple as possible. I'll just talk for 20 minutes what I know, and I will take from what you know. I'm trying to merge both and see how we can make things better for SMEs in the event industry and otherwise. Thank you.
Okay.
So this is a brief slide. You already know the topic, the past and future of SME financing in Nigeria. Looking at the basic outlines, look at SMEs in Nigeria, what they mean to the Nigeria economy, what the policy trends have been over the past 40 years, what the financing options have been, the impact of COVID-19 and digital transformation, future financing options, and the event industry as an SME, conversationally. So basically, it's just been interesting for me over the past 1 year, realizing that the SMEs, is the major players in the economy, not the big corporates. Because if you listen to what happens often, it's about the majors of this world, the majors of this world. But, you know, from what I've seen based on research from the IMF, that 90% of businesses are worldwide are SMEs, you know, and in
Yeah,
other
essential
economies,
services.
yeah, they provide 40% of GDP, they employ 600 million people and more. So in fact, that tells you that SMEs should be more important than the large corporates. However, that's not the case. If you go to Nigeria as a case, you see that also Nigeria realizes the importance of SMEs, how they contribute to GDP, you know, but the point and the difference between Nigeria and other developing countries has been the fact that the GDP impact from SMEs in Nigeria has been less than other emerging countries. And that can only be attributed to issues like financing and the rest structure, which we'll come to see what Nigeria has done to address those things. Now, I think the fundamental recent study that brought about the importance of SMEs to limelight in Nigeria was in 2017 by, you know, the SMIDAN and the National Bureau of Statistics. It shows that in Nigeria, we had about 41 million SMEs. You know, geographically, Lagos was king of SMEs. We also had lots in Katsina, Rivers, and Kaduna. So these are the key or the main SME hubs. But this is just a research. I'm sure if you look at Onitsha, you see a lot of SMEs in Anambra State. If you go to other, you know, other enclaves or informal trading SMEs, you see other SMEs in high volume. So what have SMEs meant to Nigerian economy? You can probably see that, you know, 42% of SMEs are majorly in retail, manufacturing, accommodation, food services, with a total employment, and this again is just a research, of 59 million in a country of 300 million. You know, and that 300 million is total people. Now, Isabel, are you there? There's something.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so basically, this is 60 million people in a country of 300 million, and maybe employ people in 150 million. And I can tell you that it's probably more than that. So that tells you that the SMEs are actually the bedrock of the economy. Now, what are the limiting factors? Of course, financial capacity is one. You know, low capital SMEs, capital range from 100,000 naira to 10 million. So basically, that limits the ability to function, expand, and have more impact in GDP. If you look at the key building blocks for SMEs based on what we've seen globally, we've seen that basic science, technology, legal and regulatory structure, physical and technology infrastructure, and financial incentive structures are important. And this was before the global economic issues with COVID-19. Technology has been highlighted way back in the study. COVID-19. So that tells you that people have seen technology, innovation, you know, but maybe there has not been policy support to transfer that into industries. So looking at policy trends for SMEs, Nigeria has tried. They have the IDM. There's the SMIDAN. The SMIDAN is the Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, which is the key policy, administration, and research hub for SMEs. Their aim is to create jobs, wealth within the SME trend. Now, like I said, various governments have done different things to support SMEs, realizing that they are important, but the government itself have been limited based on the structure of the microeconomy. If you look at what they did from way back, there was the Women Entrepreneurship Program. There's the One Local Government, One Product Program by this government. If you look way back in trends, you look at 1970, we had the Monetary Credit Guidance, 1971, SME Industry Credit Guarantee, Agricultural Guarantee. So this slide shows you what the SME policy trend has been up to banks, way back from 1970, 1985, 1989, 1998, and to today. You see all the things that have been done, Bank of Industry, Development Bank, all to date. Now, for this present government, this is a key slide for what they've done for SMEs, what they've tried to do and still doing.
Okay.
2017, Development Bank of Nigeria, National Collateral Registry for SMEs. This is very important for securitization, to be able to create a platform where SMEs can actually securitize or put collateral to access loan. Now, it's the agribusiness SME scheme. Then also important is the SME rating agency, which I will probably look more into that later, because while doing this research, I came out like, this exists. I didn't know it exists. If this can rate SMEs, then it will get more, it will make it easier to bankable. So it'll be bankable, you get more financial backing, both to bankers and also other investors, private investors. Now, what I've seen from policy support from this government is that they focus mainly on agriculture. Well, it's important. I know why, food security and all that, but the point was that the other industries are SMEs, but everybody talks about agriculture, but there are other industries are SMEs. So going into what the financing options have been for SMEs, the same research shows that 66% of SMEs have to rely on their savings. Then under 14% family support, so family sources, which is brothers, sisters, uncles, investing in your family. So you can actually, conclude that 77% of SMEs are relying on your savings and your family, with only 20% having bank credit, which is appalling. And that shows why there's no impact in the large economy. Now, furthermore, you can see the statistics for SMEs down the line, what has been done. Just 1% have access to DFIs, it's really not good. And what we have seen from COVID-19 is that even around the world, from what has been done in the UK and what has been done in Nigeria, is that there's a sudden realization that the SME is the bedrock. Most of the policy support that have been given in the UK has been to support SMEs first before the large corporates. But I was highlighted that, or delighted that last week Nigeria came up with a support mechanism for SMEs. Are you aware of it?
No, I'm not.
So it shows that there's no PR, and it's open for everyone. It's called the Survivor Scheme for every SMEs in Nigeria. Okay. You can go to the portal, apply for salary support for staff, apply for your own overdraft, stuff like that. But it's being rolled out in phases. So I think the first phase was open last week. There's another phase for different industries. So if you go to the website, which I can share later, you can actually see the phases.
Okay, if you pop to the website in the chat box, everybody can see it.
Yeah, I'll do that later. I'll get samples there. So, those are existing. But if you also look at that support, there's an offtake program, and the offtake program is channeled towards the agriculture, which is produce whatever food item you want to produce or can produce, and the government will take it off from you. So, apart from agriculture, what else? And we're looking at what is available for the future and now. So, COVID has made a lot of awareness in SMEs. And when you hear tech, most people think about fintech. But there is, as far as I'm concerned, there's event tech. There's shopping tech, there's e-commerce, what I mean? So based on those, there are people that are interested right now in every kind of products along the value chain, private equity, microfinance banks in Nigeria. Challenger banks are coming up in Nigeria, but the enablers are mainly e-commerce, payment, distribution network. So it's about how you can actually integrate or show that you're ready to innovate, and then you probably get people listening to you. But challenger banks are what is happening right now in Nigeria. If I came onto this program, I've seen a bank go to CBN to get approval to divide the bank into two, whereby one aspect of the bank in Nigeria focuses on what it's been doing forever. And then another part of the bank will focus on digital banking, which of course, digital banking would not just work for personal, but for SMEs. I know banks in Nigeria that have actually finally created a designation saying head of SME banking, which did not exist before. So it shows that everybody's waking up.
Yeah, and they can see the need to support SMEs.
It's right there, So I have a friend that used to be another very important person in the bank. So for that person to be drafted to be head of SME banking, I'm like, they are waking up. We are waking up. We are waking up to where we should support. So I think in the next 12 months, the key time for SMEs in Nigeria along the value chain to actually get ready for what is coming and actually make use of what will come to play in the sector. I've talked about what COVID has done in terms of digital transformation. So basically, before I came into this program, I said, okay, let me look at the event value chain. Let me try to, because I'm not there, so I probably cannot do a good job. But I went through. Yeah. There's a jewelry person, there's the drinks. For the first time in almost 20 years, Nigerian breweries declared a loss because there are no events.
Exactly.
There are no events. There's the water supplier, there's the travel industry, there's the hotels, there's the photographer, there's the videographer, event planner, car hire, the clubs, designers, clothes. So
if you look at it critically, everybody buys and sells to the events industry.
Yeah. I even saw that there was 100 billion naira loss in Lagos alone due to the fact that there was no events in Lagos.
Exactly.
100 billion. So I think we've all, we've all seen the impact, and we've all realized the impact. And I think we will all now work towards optimizing the process. And we'll move to talk about the value chain, talk about financing banks with new business models. So for me, I think what does the SME and the event industry want to do to actually ensure that they can take maximum use of what is coming? So I will make this conversation and let us see how we can get that sorted.
Okay. So like you rightly said, the world is waking up to the SMEs in general are actually essential services, because when they were targeting essential services, I don't think they thought about the events industry or the SMEs. So now we realize who the backbone is for the various economies around the world. So for event professionals, now is the time to put on the thinking cap and say, okay, if your business is in need of some influx of capital, how do I get that? If you are, first of all, sitting down to think about more innovative, how do I leverage on technology to improve my business and make sure I'm still relevant? So those are the kind of things, those are the kind of conversations we should be having. But more often than not, people are more focused on how do I get funds? How do I get more capital injected into my business?
Yeah. So I think the horse should come before the cart. So the point that you've said, it's about having a new product. So look at your business as a product. So yes, I do this, I do that, but develop into a product. So when you have a product, you have an audience, you have a market, and it's forward-looking, and it's going to be groundbreaking, and it's going to be a wow factor. If you present it to a bank, you present it to a private equity investor, they will key in. They will invest, because I mean, everybody is in the business of making money. For example, let me tell you what's happening right now. So and people wonder, why is the world in recession? Now, for example, the 100 billion that should have been spent in the industry, which is the event industry, has been kept in banks and or pockets anyway, which is banks or vaults anyway. So what that does is there's too much liquidity in the banks, interest rates for deposits drop, everybody loses money. So consumption stimulates the economy. And the way we do it is, or how we improve in it, is what brings value to both the consumers and investors.
Okay. So in terms of going forward and sustaining businesses to grow the economy, you have mentioned funding available right now, but like you also rightly said, no PR. So how do people know what's available for them? How can they key in? Is this the only source of funding available to distressed businesses right now?
From the government, yes.
Yeah.
From the
Okay.
government, it's not enough. It's not. I haven't heard that the website actually crashed on the first day that it started. So it's not enough.
It's the new normal. It's the new normal.
Yeah, it's not enough, but it's a start. It's a start. So,
Okay.
but my own my own idea, based on what I believe and what should be the case, is that it shouldn't even be government that is even giving out those funds.
Okay.
Government should, in effect, have provided guarantees to banks who will assess businesses. I said, look, for example, maybe before COVID, this person's business was making probably 3 to 4 million naira revenue every month. Now, because of COVID, it's down to 500,000, it's down to 1 million. Okay, fine. So how much do you think you need to survive until this part is over? And you come, oh, I need to do this. Okay, fine. Look at this. Okay, that's fine. Probably we won't charge you repayment on you get back to this level of turnover. And government says, look, instead of me giving the money out, I will guarantee these loans. Okay. And because they now have, like we said earlier, we don't have the rating agency for SMEs. Once they guarantee the loan for you, and you know that if you pay back, your rating in that platform gets better, you will pay back. And if you do not pay back, yes, it's guaranteed by the government. Government pays off the bank, but the bank and the government will make sure that your name, both as a director and your business entity, is blacklisted there.
Yeah, blacklisted.
Which even means that if you go to do a work for a big corporate, the Shells, Movies of this world, and they go to that platform and say, look, is this person credible? It shows that it's not credible. So once that system is in place, then it makes the whole value chain bankable.
Okay. And that's something we have to get accustomed to, because we're not. We look at everything as it should be a grant. Everything should be a grant. We shouldn't be held accountable to pay back funds or pay back loans. So I think we have to get with the program and imbibe that culture of being accountable.
So being non-accountable is almost normal, human nature. But when you have a system that determines your behavior, that's behavioral change. So policy by government has to consider that the main aim of the policy is to change behavior, to adapt behavior. So, I mean, you have Nigerians all over the world that know that you might not be accountable. But when you go elsewhere, if you do this is what happens to you, then you become accountable.
Yes, and they get with the program immediately, and you're wondering, is this the same person?
Exactly.
That does business in Nigeria and does business outside the shores of this country, and there are two different spectrums, and you're wondering what's going on here. But I guess it's the stringent measures that have been put in place by other governments, so people are held accountable, and that ensures discipline on their part.
Yeah, but let's not just put the blame on government too, because I also think that SMEs and every professionals like let me say the event professionals need to have a platform or need to have an strong umbrella body that tries to propose policy, tries
to interface with the government.
Interface with the government, and this is what is happening, this is what we do, this is what we can do for us. So, so government doesn't just work off what is important for them, because I mean, it's only natural.
You're
government
right.
wants they want food security. For them, once they food security, the nation will be okay. So let's support our Greek, let's support our Greek, let's support our Greek. That was planned for them. Yeah.
But I think everything works hand in hand. It's not just one sector alone. It's a partnership.
Exactly.
It's teamwork, actually.
Yeah, like you said. So if, for example, the guys that are supported in the agri sector, maybe, for example, during this COVID, people are not buying cow because there's no burial, there's no birthday, people are not baking.
Exactly.
So what are you doing?
What
are you doing? Yeah.
Because even now that the restrictions are being eased up a bit, and different sectors are opening out, different businesses are allowed to open, you still have the restrictions strictly placed on event planners. Because, like, for instance, you have your events are still shut down. You have event centers still shut down, and everybody's wondering what's going on. If you have the places of worship allowed to operate at half capacity, why can't you put those measures in place for event centers as well?
Exactly. So that goes back to your industry body, whereby they go to the government with a proposal that, look, 1,000 capacity event venue, we will only take 500, 300 to ensure that the social distancing.
Okay. Yeah, I do understand how it's important. It's important for us to have an umbrella body where we can, make our feelings heard, or make our challenges and our concerns heard. That way, it's better. It's better managed. That way.
And to be honest, it doesn't have to be on a national level. It can be on a micro level. It can be a local government. It could be a state government. So we do not need to have Abuja mentality. That let's go to Abuja to get this resolved. Let's go to Abuja to get that resolved. So the point is that if the people in a particular hub or state can
what you're doing in your space, actually.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So this is what it is. Even if it's a region, 2 or 3 states together, I'll put the state governments, I believe that would be a solution.
Okay. Yes, I totally feel what you're saying. That makes sense. But unfortunately, sometimes in the climate we are in, you're not granted that audience because they do not think or do not perceive that this is important. Okay. So those are the kind of challenges that we have.
That's fine. Now, they do not perceive, but what I have seen happen is this, right? I'm a very, very data-driven person. So there's nothing wrong with, okay, fine, you know what? Let me get someone in university to research on what this industry does for Rivers State, does for Lagos, does for Bayelsa, does for Edo State. What we do, people that come in for weekend, is it weddings, birthdays, the flights, the airport, car hire. Just do a study for one weekend, and then based on that report, they write it up. So this is what happens. This is the impact. This is the value chain impact in the state, the city. Now, for example, you can even put that in a newspaper, a regional newspaper, state newspaper, that this is what we contribute to the state. And imagine if you do it 2-3 times, right? And write to the Commissioner of Investment, Budget, whatever it is, that look, we need to be heard. We need to be heard. They will hear after some time. They will, because they might not be aware, or they might be blind. So the point is that, well, that's why you have people in the media. We have people in social media. Look, influencers, this is our issue. This is what we do. Help us influence this. Make noise. Create social awareness. Create political awareness. Let people know that this is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we contribute. And this is what we want.
Exactly.
Contribute.
Okay. Yeah, that's a way to go. That's a takeaway for me. That's a way to go. Because when you look through social channels and that's not working, I think yes, you can get the attention on social media. Yes,
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes,
that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Okay, so during the week, we got some questions come in, so I'll just go through some of them. I have here, someone says, as an investment professional, how did you manage to keep your investment plans mapped out all through the year? How do you
Sorry, I can't hear you. It's frozen.
also, yeah, floats consider?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. You're frozen a bit. Can I come again, please?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you see, it's new normal. Okay, person said, as an investment professional, how did you manage to keep your investment out all through the year floats, considering the...
Okay. I assume that the question is that how do you keep your investment afloat throughout these COVID issues, right? That will make up of it. Okay, so assuming that that's the question, right? So investments being afloat is one thing, and not being net zero, that's the most important thing. So investments go up and down like every other thing. We're here talking about how businesses have come down during this crash. Most investments have also come down during this crash. So being afloat is just being there, not diminished. But in terms of security, I guess cash is king at this point in time. Cash is king. Get all your money in the bank for a bit. Some stocks are king in the US, but you have to be timely, which is, of course, you can see what's happening, is tech stocks, tech. For the first time in over 200 years, even ExxonMobil is no longer on the top stock exchange in America. It's a tech firm. Most tech firms are all, the top stocks in the US. Even the billionaires right now are all tech related. So if you're invested in tech or you have cash in the bank, I'm sure you'll be safe during this period. Are you back?
Sorry, I got kicked out.
Okay. So did you hear what I said? So basically what I said was that it's about cash and tech. That's the summary. Cash and investment in tech in terms of stocks related to tech and pharmaceuticals, healthcare. So those are the three sectors that are really...
That industry is doing very well.
Very well, yeah.
It's doing very well. Okay, so basically just manage your investments and look for the industries that are thriving.
At the moment.
Yeah, okay. So I have another question. It said, what is your advice to entrepreneurs and investors?
I think my advice is mainly synergy, but the most important advice I have for every single investor or entrepreneur at the moment, I don't know if it's too late or it's just the nick of time, is to have a platform strategy. A platform strategy. It has to be, you have to have a platform strategy, a way to do business digitally without being present. So once you have that as part of your business, I think you go forward in the new world.
Yeah, I think the virtual space is the place to play in right now. You have to be relevant there. You have to be everything has gone digital, everything is in the virtual space. I'll give you an example, like for our conference that we run every year. We're in our 10th year now, and for the first time, it has to be a bit low key. Want to do a hybrid event, want to host a hybrid event, and so for the first time, we're having a smaller venue, something that we are excited about, and we know that is the way to go.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question here. It says, what avenues can funds be accessed to keep businesses afloat? I think we've talked about that, but are there other platforms that funds can be accessed from?
Well, I think the most ignored one at the moment is private equity. And what are we really think in terms of advisory is people coming together and presenting a singular product. For example, because of the economics of scale, if you have 2 or 3 big event planners or 2 or 3 big studios in Takot, they can actually come together and have the mentality of this is my own, to form a synergy or a group. So look, our studios located in different locations, let's come together and call it or have one entity and then go into the market. I said, look, because what that does is say, look, we have 50% of the market share in photography in Port Harcourt or 50% of the share in Enugu or Abuja. So why not invest in us? Well, if you go with 10%, 12%, like, but if you go with unity and volume, then you have presence in the market share, in the marketplace.
Yeah, collaboration is the gospel that we've been preaching.
Yes, collaboration.
We've been preaching that gospel for as long in existence, and it's catching on. I hope more people will run with it because it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win.
It is really, indeed.
Okay, I have another question.
In terms of not just also synergy in terms of market share, but also knowledge sharing, capability, know-how, network. I mean, it's important when 2, 3 people come together, different network, different ideas.
Continue.
Yeah, so basically that's what I say. So network, capability, technical know-how, all that come from different people, come together, and you get the better output.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, absolutely. Okay, I have another question. It says, mentoring has always been a key to growth in all kinds of endeavor, but with the pandemic hitting everyone without notice on how to deal, how can SMEs keep up with that and still get quality information?
Well, quality information has to be correlated with research, which is looking for it. So if you do not put the time to look for information, you will not get it. But so it has to be deliberate, So before coming to this platform, there were things that I did not know myself, but I spent time, and indeed there were eye openers even for myself. So if you do not research and focus on issues or interests, you will not get information. You don't just come, it's priced, and people pay for it anyway. So, but the point is, if you cannot pay for that research, then you have to do it yourself. In terms of mentoring.
You're right. So we can't afford to be cheapskates, yeah?
Yeah, we can't. Well,
okay.
on mentoring, I think mentoring.
Okay. I have another question. It says, we know SME.
Can't hear you. Let me see.
Hi.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I always say, this is the new normal. So when you have your networks just fluctuating left, right, and center, everybody's online. Okay, I have another question. It says, we know SMEs need to be proactive in these times, but how best can they build structure, especially startups and those threatened to go under because of the times?
Well, there's so much relating to startups, not just by government, to be honest with you, in terms of training, and they're out there. There are different hubs, out there for startups, different platforms. In fact, they are being focused on, even the development agencies are focusing on startups. They are funding startups, United Nations, World Bank, even the AFDB has a startup unit, SME unit at the moment. So I think there's so much to be done that can be done. It's about looking at one or two things, but I've seen lots being done recently. But I think there are places where you could go online, where you could get information on what you need to do, structure in place, and even as part of this government's initiative is that they're actually doing free registration for startups and SMEs. So that's part of the government policy right now for all SMEs. They're doing free registration for them for maybe the next 3-4 months to ensure they have the structure to move forward. So that's part of support for the government.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, I have one last question. I don't know if there are more. I guess we can just put those in the chat box. It says, how well can entrepreneurs find balance and achieving a healthy mindset in these times? Yes, I got all my guests on so far on the series talking about how you have to stay positive before you can even, think about how to move your business forward. So what have you done?
I think this is actually exciting times, to be honest with you. I think so. Going forward, not the past. Not the past.
Okay.
Not
I
the
get
past.
that.
Not the past at all. But I think going forward is a clean slate. There's a bit of we know where the world is going to. So it's about planning based on where the world will go to. Now, what I'm saying is this, right? And it goes back to what I've said, that that as a startup, as an entrepreneur, the banks have woken up.
Yeah.
Private equity guys have woken up. Regulators, CBN, they've all woken up. So if they have done that, it's about you looking at what they've done. It's a time to reflect, study, look at what is being done, and try to bring your business into that structure that will make it bankable for either investment or even for the market, both ways.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I guess so. So this is the first time I'm hearing this exciting. You hear about the downturn in earnings. You hear about the uncertainty and the anxiety on the part of most business owners because some businesses have had to fold up. So I think I'm going to toe your line of the exciting time.
It's been terrible for the past months. But the point is looking at the silver line, and it's been terrible not just for SMEs, even for global corporates
for everybody
and banks. But the point is that we cannot look at what has happened right now. It's happened to everybody, so it's not unique.
Yes.
But the point is that it has also created opportunities here and there, which can be resolved. So the point is now making use of the impact of COVID on the way we will interact as humans, the way we will interact as businesses going forward, and then taking your business to be modeled based on the new normal and see how you can make revenue based on that. That's what business is about anyway.
Okay. So give us an insight into your life. So during the downtime, what did you do to keep busy? I'm sure you were still working, but what did you do to occupy the spare time that you had?
I read.
Did you start a new business?
No, I read about SMEs. I read about technology. I spend time with family. Get to spend lovely time with the family. I worked. So it's been a time to just reflect. Make use of working at home or working from home condition to see what it is. So it's been an interesting time. Probably never happened in a lifetime, maybe the next century or the rest. But we've learned, we've seen how the world could be. We could see probably even how new values, have a new value system. And that is what I'm talking about. New value system will impact how I think, how I consume, the things that I purchase. So based on those things, any entrepreneur down the line can say, look, this is what the trend is. So the trend is changing based on
Yes,
the impact on me, based on impact on you. So people down the line will just model the business that way.
Yeah, that it's going to be difficult for some people, or rather more difficult for some people, because as you know, we are social animals. We're used to face-to-face interactions, and with us event professionals, we are used to, we're not players in the virtual space. We are in the physical space.
Yeah,
We want to see people, we want to be out there doing things to terms slowly with the new normal.
Yes, but the past, couple of months, yes, it's the new normal, but people are not in a hurry to go back to the past because, as you're aware, 1 million people have died worldwide due to COVID, and that is what we know about. I'm sure there are more than that. The impact of COVID has been health-wise, psychologically. So people have lost loved ones that probably they couldn't be there with them. They couldn't travel to build their loved ones while they passed. So it's been that has been this psychological impact on people. So after all that, people are not really in a hurry to go back there or go back to the way the world was. But in terms of business-wise, we know that things will change. But and that's why we say the future is exciting, but the past definitely hasn't been exciting.
I'm gonna know. So that's one thing. I'm gonna imbibe that and consciously, actively look at it as being exciting, and I think that would help me think of more innovative ways to keep business afloat.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, I will take that away. I will take that away. So for everybody watching, I would say if you have any questions, you can just pop it in the chat box, and I'm sure that Uka is more than happy to answer your questions. So we'll just give it another 5 to 10 minutes. He's a very busy man, and we wouldn't want to keep him longer than we had asked. So please just pop in your questions in the chat box, and we'll see what that is. So Uka, you had promised to put down the information for the funding body, the government agency, so that we can all check it out.
Let me go to the website and just copy and paste it. It's the survivalfund.ng. It's right there.
Never heard of it. Survivalfund.ng. Is that it? Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll definitely check it out. Definitely check it out and see how they can help us. Yes. At least try to overcome. Yeah, try to overcome this setback that everybody is pinching everybody so hard.
Yeah, it is.
But again, I would say these are exciting times.
Exciting times. Like I said, even banks around the world are making losses. It impacts everyone. Like I said, SMEs not making money, corporates not making money. In fact, making losses. Profitability is low. Unemployment is high. But we just have to look at the positive. Of course, why acknowledging the negative? We have to look at the positive.
Yeah. And for event professionals who some have lost their businesses, a pivot, would you suggest staying in the industry or looking outside the industry?
No, I think, for me, the event industry will remain, you know. I only think that maybe
Completely.
the
Quite a number of them, actually.
yeah, but I think that just the way events are handled or managed will change. That's all. But it will never
Yeah.
go. And at the end of the day, you might see that people are now maybe willing to spend a little bit more to have a little bit more of quality than quantity. Maybe
Oh, yes. Yes.
same budget, but but more of quality and more, serious. So I mean, uh, the to celebrate life is even more important now. People they understand that life is precious. Life
Yes, they are
means a
doing
lot.
life now.
Yeah, people are doing life. People are living life.
Yeah.
So the point that's the impact. I said, look what's happening. People have gone 1 million. We need to live the life because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, this is life, and there's no that thing. As my friend would say, there's no part two. This is life.
Yeah, no replay.
There's no replay.
No
This is
replay
it.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think people will want to, spend their life, have memorable events. I've seen people covering their life more with more photography bookings, capturing their life, because they want to have an experience.
Yeah.
So for me today, even the part of if I have something to celebrate, I can't celebrate. I will celebrate it. I will celebrate it, but under the guidelines, under the policy. But I will celebrate it in my own way.
Okay. Cool. Cool. No, there are now very innovative ways of celebrating and,
Exactly.
celebrating on a global scale.
Yeah.
So, for instance, where you had only a physical party, you have 500 people and that's it. Now, everybody can key in virtually. And guess what? You can also send a keepsake to everybody around the world. I think that's phenomenal.
Exactly. And guess what, right? What I told people, look, I'm all for Zoom parties, but guess what? I said it's fine. But let's find a way to send drinks, send food to these venues. And guess what? It now becomes a platform. Say, look, someone in London, get the food to this house, get the drink to this house, distribute it. And we're all eating.
That's why I say it's on a global scale now. Everybody gets to key in. It's fantastic. I really love it. That's the part that I love. Okay, I have a question. Hi, Somi. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. She's asking, is it advisable to pull out money when the value keeps going down? I mean, for your investments.
Now, I would need to know the specific investment to respond to that. So, if it's a property, I would say no. If it's a property, I'll say no. If it's shares, it depends on the mutual funds.
Yeah, so mutual funds and
stocks. Maybe you can switch your portfolio to what I said before in terms of technology, healthcare more, or tell your manager to do more of healthcare and technology rather than other things like maybe airlines and banks.
So the industries that have been seriously impacted.
Yeah.
That's a jump ship. So, but the medical care is doing extremely well. Technology is doing extremely well.
Very well.
So I think there's a gold mine there. Okay, thank you, Somi. I hope you got your answer. So, do we have any more questions? Well, I don't know if we have any more questions. So, okay. I think we can call it a day. Uka, what are your closing words? What are your closing advice what is your closing advice to event professionals?
So I think to event professionals, it's been a tough year, but we can rest assured that there'll be no year like this going forward. That's the most important thing. This is just the worst of the worst. The future is bright. It's about innovation. It's about product development. It's about being unique in your offering. Trying to be also adaptable. So it's about thinking. And I really don't, even in my industry, I don't mind copying. So seeing what is happening elsewhere and then bringing it into your own economy and then just changing it here to adapt to your own culture and your own laws. So if you can do your research and see what's going on out there, adapt it into your own system, laws and everything, and you probably will have a good product. That's my opinion. So
yeah, that makes sense. It's all about innovation.
Yeah, so I wish everybody luck. I wish everybody the best. I think listen to this series. I listen to this series a lot. I'm always here. I was in the last session. I'm always here. So it's a place to come and learn, come and discuss, just interact. It's a good platform and it's a good time to spend your lunch. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Uka. Thank you for this 1 hour. It's been so informative and it's been so educational. I thank everybody that's found time to stop by and listen. I hope you've learned a thing or two. I've learned quite a lot, and I know that now I would refer to these times as exciting times. So thank you, Uka. We'll let you go now.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll see you guys all next week on another episode of the Octopus series. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, stay safe, stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. You did though. I won't try to say bye. They are gone before I say bye. You didn't unmute yourself. I just that was a very good one. Yeah.
Hello, mommy.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine, thank you, mommy. How are you? How are we doing there? I'm missing you here.
Good afternoon, ma.
Mommy.
Everything will be fine. We'll soon meet.
Okay. Mommy, please don't miss our 10th anniversary. Mommy.
Yeah?
I say you should not miss our 10th anniversary, please.
I should not miss what?
The 10th anniversary. It's event 10th anniversary.
Yes, I know about it. Don't worry. I'm planning towards it.
Okay, mommy. Okay, mommy.
All right, my dear. Have a